Hey guys, Jared here. Today I'm going to take you through deadlifts and how to. So just a couple of things. So first up, basic rules is that hands and feet. Okay, so when I say hands, so I'm working on, when you work on deadlifts, right, it's about one, hand placement, two, trying to work on white knuckle or bar, but also, shoes, right? These shoes are not too bad this is just a CrossFit shoe with a part solid heel. But it's all about trying to have that, that solid contact with the floor. That's what you're after, right, when you try and do deadlifts. The better your contact is with the floor, so when you're like pushing on the floor, trying to drill your foot into the floor, scrunch your toes, like you're trying to pull up sand, like those basic cues there and those things that you're doing, right, make a massive difference, right, on trying to build better contact. So the better your contact with the floor, the stronger you're going to be. Now this is like an electrical current. The better your earth, right, the better your earth is, the better your power output is in wattage with the electrical current. So that's what you want to work on here. Now you have to decide, and you have to play around with your deadlift. If you're sumo, right? If you're sumo position, now not everyone can be in that sumo position. Sumo is very, very straight, up and down, knees out wide concept, pushing the floor. Now, if you have sore back or done some sort of back injury or something like that, sumo will work really good for you because it's your back is very, very straight. And I've had a lot of success in coaching people with doing a sumo deadlift with previous back injuries. So I highly recommend on working on that and working on your orthopedic profile on trying to get yourself into the sumo position. And you can do that by using the rack. And you may have seen me talk about before with people with a broomstick and working on the bar path, inside the rack. And that's a really good way to teach you on trying to get the bar to be going straight up and straight down. And that's the goal with the deadlift, is being able to make the bar go straight up and straight down. The rule is making the bar move around your body, making your body move around the bar, not the bar move around your body. You want the barbell to be going as dead up and down as you can. Okay, so when doing the deadlift, okay, a couple of things you need to work on. So from here, big tips. So once feet, back on track, feet. Now I set myself up, my hands up first, get my feet right first. Now when I got all that set up and that's all fine, okay, now I'll work on breathing. So from here, when you do your breathing, I'll work on big breath in, stomach out, so stomach out, and that's the big thing here, is working on stomach out. You want to work on that tension and want to build, locking your core into place from here, okay, and you'll do that on your squat as well, okay, so then you want to work on trying to push your stomach against your thighs the best you can. So when you get yourself up in a position, so you've got your feet right, so I'm a conventional stance and I have a bit of a no-no stance. Now from here, so feet in, once you have your feet right, your hands right, stomach, big breath, and I use the barbell. What I do is I end up using the barbell to pull myself into position. So from here, I've got my feet, position, scrunch my feet into the floor, I pull sand, hands on bar, tight, push floor away, drive hip through, okay, arms nice and long, okay, so squeeze your bum, so your bum wants to be focused from here. Now, at 0 seconds down, okay, so you're back to the original position. From here, drive hip, punch through, okay. Now you need to work on the different cue. You got to find what resonates with you, right? Is it drive hips, hump the bar, thrusts? You just got to work on the concept of trying to get your body, everything else doesn't move, and trying to work on punching your hips forward, and about pushing the floor the best you can. So if you got to do a box jump, for example, if you got to do a box jump, pretend the box is just here, okay? You're going to do a box jump. It's the same motion as doing a deadlift. So you just got to find whatever works for you. Okay, I can't stress you enough. Okay, so that's pretty much the deadlift. Deadlifts are really simple in that way. Sumo deadlift, show you sumo deadlift. I'm lucky enough that I can do this. It's one of the things that Stacey hates sometimes. Is it natural? And I have my hands a little bit narrower on the sumo. So you can see from here, in that sumo position, Stacey does the sumo very well. And then drive through. Okay, and then down. It's hard. Not everyone can be in that sumo position. It's a bit hard where I've got the camera really kind of need to use it over this way a little bit more, or I could spin the barbell. That'd be smarter. From here, you're in that position. And there's something to work on because, you know, if you can do it, from here, push floor, drive through. Okay, sumo. Yeah, like I said to you, not everyone is built for sumo, but good to do. I think you just got to work in conventional, and then you got to work on your feet as well, and how far apart you need your feet. And that's a good question to ask. You got to work out your stance. If you're a natural bit of wider stance, I have a closed stance with my deadlift, and that's just working out the preference. So I would say to you, practice with a broomstick, and I'll quickly just show you now what I mean with the broomstick. These weight plates are just a little bit wet. Is that you're from here with the broomstick, you start the broomstick here, this is the top end of the deadlift position, and now from here, you're not trying to break the broomstick against the rack, guys. Alright, I don't want to hear it like grinding, it's just nice and soft, yeah? Now from here, coming down, so there's the deadlift position, alright, and then it should rake. So trace your thighs, your legs, punch your hip through, right, and then punch through. And that's how you can work on that linear bar path, because you're trying to get that broomstick to travel straight up and straight down. So if you find from here, this is happening and the broomstick is leaving, right? You can see that your knee is actually driving forward. So you need to work on trying to push your hip backwards more to try and get the travel of the bar straight up and straight down. So if you find that it's happening in this aspect, you need more heel pressure, okay? And then punch through. Or if you find that you're punching through and you're away from the broomstick and your hip's not punching through towards the bar, you know that you're not driving your hip enough soon enough, okay? But the biggest thing that to finish off with, guys, is you've got to think about when you're trying to do the deadlift, it's not about, I've got to lift the bar. If you see people trying to lift the bar, I see this a lot. People trying to lift, the first thing that happens is that I think I've got to lift, so they end up trying to use arms. So they're from here and they're like, straight away, they break that position and they pull through their back, call that Quasimodo. And because they're thinking I've got to lift. You want to keep thinking about those basic couple of cues, whatever resonates with you. Like the simple thing I think about is push the floor, build up that tension with my stomach, lock out, push floor, and I just think about trying to squeeze my glutes and just drive my hips towards the barbell as hard as I can, as fast as I can. And that's all I think about. I don't think about anything else when I'm trying to do the deadlift. So, guys, play around that. I hope this helps on some tips on working on the deadlift, but that's how you do the deadlift and just the cues that's needed for the deadlift.